We have liftoff. We have liftoff. Yeah, this is a nice turnaround, this one. You might be able to kind of rewind this one and pause it. Okay, I'm going to be saying hello to all you guys very, very shortly. Hey, I think we have Preston on board here. Let me say a hello to everybody. We've got Susie and Leadbelly and Julie Chilvers, and we got Gary, and hey Julie, and we've got Palmer tonight as well. Great to see you, Palmer. And we got Marco. Great to see you too, Marco. And of course, as I say, Preston. And we've got Richard as well. And don't forget to say where you're all from, guys. We've got Jeff here from Hedge End. Yeah, I know Jeff's kind of working his way through some Robert Johnson stuff. And we've got Brian as well. Welcome to Brian. Hola. And Roger. Hey, Roger. It's good to see you. There's some few new names here tonight, which is good. And we've got Thomas. Okay. And we've got Richard in Canada. And we've got Dave Clark, who could make it, which is great, from Sheffield. And we have Kent, no less, from San Diego. And we have John from Australia and Matthew. So we've got lots of people coming. I'm going to be coming back to you. I'm just kind of having a little bit of a warm up. It's been a really, really busy day today. I've been chasing my tail most of the day, trying to, I'd just like to welcome everybody to the show. And we have Candace. Hey, Candace, I'm really glad you could make it as well. And we've got Stuart as well here as well. So we've got like lots of people. Bob, it's getting a regular little audience here. So you should be able to start sharing tips amongst one another and everything like that. That would be a good thing to be able to do. Hopefully that's something you can kind of think about. I mean, kind of just released a new video today on YouTube for anybody who's interested. And it's talking about these kind of blues shapes, you know, which kind of we have to learn, but they're kind of difficult to learn because they require us to stretch our fingers at kind of crazy distances, you know, like this. And the way that we can get used to that is by coming much further up the fingerboard and trying to work our way down until we can play this long A. All right, so if this is something that you're interested in, I've done a lesson on it today for everybody. It's available for everybody, and you can learn a little bit about how to play some of these blues kind of chords. I'm going to kind of play a little bit of Robert Johnson to show you some of the things that are included in this lesson if you go to my channel. All right, so typically speaking, you know, I'm just kind of playing a little bit of a rundown here from Kind Hearted Woman. So there's some kind of chords that are covered in this lesson that I've recently put out there. Now, of course, to many of you, that won't be something you haven't heard before. That's something that we have covered in some detail. But nevertheless, just these like different shapes, like this A shape here, gives your blues a very different feel, okay? And when you drop that kind of shape back and play, put your pinky down on the thing here, you're playing like an A diminished. So that's what that kind of Robert E. Johnson sound is. He's playing an A7 and an A7 diminished. Okay, good evening to you as well, Mally. I'm glad you could make it. So that's the diminished. So, you know, this is all worth looking at if you haven't already and you're interested in the blues and things like that, you know, because I just wanted to talk about how important some of these chord shapes are. And like the long A, you know, it's used a lot with the Robert Johnson and the Big Bill Broonzy stuff. You know, all this kind of thing. So, you know, it's in our interest to try and learn some of these chords, and once we do, we can use them in all kinds of interesting places on the guitar as well. So that's like an A7, and this is like a B7. Okay, now we normally think of B7 down here, right? But, you know, it's surprising how many people don't know that. B7 and this B7. And say your E chord here, like a D, just moved up 2 frets. And you can start playing things like Mississippi River Blues just by moving these E, A and B chords up to the next kind of stage where you play them. So you have like a... start making our blues sound interesting in different places because we're kind of combining chords, you know, from down here to here. And that's kind of a nice way to get you into an A. If you take your ring finger and you slide it from the 2nd fret to the 4th fret, like so, and then you hit an A. It's a lovely way to bring you into that A chord. So I'll show you what I mean. You've got this E chord here, and the B. That's kind of a nice way to walk into the... So you can make very beautiful things just with very simple kind of shapes and stuff like that. And as you probably know, I've covered loads of this kind of stuff in the past. So what I wanted to kind of show you tonight is because I talked like last week, I don't know how many of you caught the show where I was playing with Al and we played all kinds of stuff then, and that being one of them. And so we covered a lot of material, and I think there were a few people who were kind of puzzled about how it was that I could play this and be soloing at the same kind of time. So that's why it's very awkward tonight, guys. If you could only see what I could see, you'd see what a mess is around me. From your point of view, it looks a nice clear kind of thing, but I can hardly move. I can't put my guitar down. But basically what I want to show you is this little thing here. Now I don't exactly know how I'm going to do it because I can't put this down, doesn't help, you see. So just bear with me a moment, ladies and gentlemen, and I will be able to show you what I want to show you. Hopefully. I don't know if I can actually. How am I best going to do this? Let's see. I'll tell you what we'll do. Just bear with me here, chaps, you can and ladies. So basically what I want to show you a little bit about today, all right, is this little thing here, okay? And some of you may already know about it, but that's too bad because I'm going to have to explain it for the people who don't. So it's a little box, as you can see. It's just got the one knob on here, and that's just for volume, all right? Now, as I say, I'm sure some of you will know about this. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to be coming back to some of your messages, some great ones there. And it's got this little button here, all right? Now, the simple idea behind this, for those of you who don't know, is that it allows you to record yourself playing, okay? So you plug you plug the lead from your guitar into one side, and then the out on the other side. So we've got this here, so your guitar goes in there, and then it comes out of here and it goes into your amp or whatever it is you're going to use, okay? And what you do is you play the first part of the rhythm that you want to play, okay? Now before you play it, I should note, which is important, I'm not doing a great job of this, am I? Well, basically, when you're ready to record, you press this button down here with your foot, okay? And then when you're ready to finish, you can either press it once. Now, if you press it once, what will happen is what you've just recorded will start playing. But if you press it twice, it will stop. So now you've seen the little box and what it consists of, okay? I'll be able to plug it all back in and show you what it kind of does. That's what I kind of wanted to touch on for this lesson, okay? So I do apologize if it's something you already know about, okay? But as I say, for those of you, this is for those of you who don't, because it's a great little way for you to accompany yourself. It's a wonderful little thing, okay? So now I have that on the floor down here, all right? Now what I'm going to show you is how it's used. So let's just say I've got a little blues rhythm, okay? A standard blues rhythm. Let's just say something like this. All right, so let's say we've got that kind of blues going, but we've got the A as well. And then we've got our back to our E and a B7. You get the kind of idea, all right? So what we want to try and do now is to record that onto that little pedal that I've just shown you, right? So my foot is on it. Now the important thing is that when you press it, and it takes a little bit of getting used to for it to work correctly, because when you press that button is the most important thing, all right? So let me show you. I'm going to press. Still recording. And stop. Now I pressed it once, and hopefully you can hear that. It's playing that back. Okay. Now if I pressed it twice, it would have stopped it like that. All right, hopefully you're with me so far. Now, say I want to kind of practice along playing with that now, so I just press it once, and I've got it. The kind of idea, yeah? So it's a great little device for you to be able to kind of accompany yourself and kind of play stuff, yeah? So this is a really good little device for anybody who's looking to practice their soloing work. And also, as an added kind of benefit, it really helps with your timing enormously, because if you get it wrong, it really sounds wrong. It's like where it starts and when it stops sounds very wrong. So, you know, it takes a little bit of practice, but you'd be surprised how quickly you can kind of come to terms with this little pedal. I mean, I used to play in a band where I had like 5 or 6 pedals and stuff like that, and it was a bit of a full-on job trying to do that. But this little thing, you know, a kid could use it in 5 minutes. It's so, so simple. So if you haven't actually tried one and this kind of idea appeals to you, then I would strongly recommend one for your solo playing. Now let me give you another, to erase the little thing that we've done, all we do is we press the pedal, which I'm going to do now, and you hear it, and then it wipes it clear. So let's just say I want to record again, okay? I press, and I pressed it again at the end of the section, and now we have a recorded section. Okay, so let me show you one more time. We press, now we have something to solo over. Yeah, so it's great for this kind of thing. Kind of get the idea. Yeah, it's not really about me just sitting here and kind of boring you with a lot of kind of licks and stuff like that, but it's a great little thing to have. So, you know, if you're interested in your kind of soloing and things like that. Okay, so let me kind of see who else we got on board here. It's time I said hello to you guys. Hey Franz, it's good to see you, and thank you Lead Belly. I'm glad it's sounding okay and coming through loud and clear. GT from Pennsylvania, it's great to see you, GT. And Candace there, a little kind of son's popped in to say hello as well. And Julie, nice to see you, Julie, as well. David Price, hi Joe. Watch out, Wolf Moon eclipse tonight. Yeah, that's true. We have a strange happening in the celestial beings tonight. Not untidy, organised chaos. That is one way of looking at it. And we've got Obi-Wan here, New Zealand represent. That's great. And yeah, I love the method and the madness. That's a good thing, isn't it? So, and you can all tell me about how all you lot are doing here as well, by the way. You know, and what I was going to ask you, everybody, is what you enjoy most about the Kind of Joe shows, because it's kind of easy to get carried away. Some people like to listen to me play. Other people try and like me to explain little technical things that they can go away and play. Some of you like listening to me and Al, it would appear, from last week's show, which was thoroughly enjoyable. Al sends his very best to everybody. So I'm very, very interested in what you find useful about these Joe shows. And if you could tell me that, you know, then that's really, really useful. Or if there's anything you'd like me to look at, or, you know, anything like that, then that's another thing you can kind of do. I just want to kind of, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to play a few little bits of different songs that I've done lessons for, okay? And see if anybody can kind of guess them. Palmer's making me laugh here. Palmer, you were supposed to be telling me what that was. Yeah, George is beating you to it now. Outside Woman Blues. I've done a lesson on that, okay? So that's something that you can kind of learn. I'll just play you a few little bits, because I'm not sure how many of you are aware just how many lessons I have actually done. I'm fairly sure that kind of some of you don't always realize that. So that's why I thought this might be an idea. Okay, so I've got a question from Leo Gibson here. If you play an F on the first fret, what is the best C to play next? Well, of course, it depends entirely on your comfort zones, Leo. Okay, so let me kind of show you some possibilities. You're playing an F and a C. If I was playing an F and a C, I would be doing it that way more often than not. F, C. Minimum movement for the hands. If you play this, it's a whole shape change. If you play this, it's a long way to travel. If you play this, it's another way to go. But I would tend to play simple way. All right, so hopefully that answers that question. It's always nice to answer some questions. Definitely like the hints and the tips most. But if you also have a great personal delivery, thank you, Jeff. You're very, very kind, friendly, so it makes me want to tune in and listen. Well, that's great, that, Jeff. Good to hear. I always like to kind of try and hand out. And Julie there's saying Outside Woman Blues, which I recently learned. Did you learn it from me, Julie, or somebody else? Doesn't matter too much. Yes, so the looper is a very, very good little thing. Very helpful, being toying with the idea of getting a looper. Okay, well, hopefully, Ricky, that's kind of helped, give you some, clarify things perhaps. And Candace there enjoys the ease of the teaching, which is really, really nice. That is so, so nice. And I like the name of that tune. Outside Woman Blues, yeah. Okay, so shall we move on? We'll move on to a few other songs, yeah? Now, another song I'm going to be kind of taking a look at soon will be... I'm thinking of taking a look at this. Al, who I played with last week, really wants me to do this again. We used to do it in the band when we played in the band. But I got a little bit fed up of singing it, I can be perfectly honest with you guys. And of course I can with Al. But basically, it's such a long song, albeit a very good and popular song, and everybody seems to enjoy it. It's still a very long song to sing, but if anybody's interested, it is one that I am going to have a look at some future point. Okay? And I'll just play you a little bit because you're going to know what this is. That's me in the spotlight, losing my religion, trying to keep an eye on you, like a hurt, lost and blind fool. Oh no, I said too much, haven't said enough. I thought that I heard you laughing, thought that I heard you sing. I think I thought I saw you try every whisper. Anyway, you get the idea. Very long song, but a nice song nevertheless. So I don't know if that's anybody's kind of cup of tea. It may not. I know a lot of you guys like your blues, so I always like to kind of because I gig out and play quite a bit of live stuff, I obviously get requested all these songs, and not always songs that I particularly like. But, if you're going to play out, and playing out is something that you kind of aspire to doing, then it's worth learning a few songs that are very, very popular with people, because then if you get asked, can you play this? Well, you might think, well, no, I can't play that, but I can play this, which is similar or something. If you're just very one-track mind, I just think essentially what I'm trying to say, I guess, is it's a good thing to be versatile, yeah? So don't maybe rule anything out, you know, because it's surprising how many people ask you for this song or that song or whatever else. So I think it's kind of quite a nice song, and there's all those little bits, you know, there's all that kind of stuff which you can put on, and that you see, that's the fun with the ditto as well. You can use it and practice all your little riffs and things like that. So you know, that's another thing. Let's see what people are saying here anyhow as well, because I like to keep in touch with all you guys. So we got your lessons about the Robert Johnson chords was great. Is there a chord sheet? Well, all that kind of stuff is over on my Patreon page, yeah? So you'll find it. There actually isn't one for that lesson because it's all very self-explanatory. But if you like blues, then a lot of the people here will tell you, you know, that Patreon is the place to go, because a lot of my stuff is there. Although there's a lot, you know, on... yeah, I don't really do You Really Got Me, because it's not an acoustic piece. You really got me now. It's not. It's more of an electric-y thing, you know. I could play it if I was really, really pushed, but I'm not really pushed, so that'll be why. Okay, from you, Joe. What was that? Could you... From you, Joe. Are you able to do a lesson on the Rolling Stones? Angie in future, yeah. I haven't played that in absolutely years, so I'd need to brush up on it. Sounds terribly out of tune here. Like, you can just talk amongst yourselves while I tune up. Something happening with this guitar. It never goes out of tune. Usually. It must be particularly cold. Yeah, so after last week's show, Al was saying that he wanted to revive some of the songs, you know, that we ran through some stuff that we don't ordinarily play, and I think one of them was Teenage Wedding. It was a teenage wedding and the old folks wished them well. You could see that Pierre did truly love a mademoiselle. Now the young monsieur, Madame of Brenda Chapel Bell. C'est la vie, say the old folks. It goes to show you never can tell. They had a high-five phone, oh boy, did they let it blast. 700 little records, all rockin' rhythm and jazz. Some of these simple songs, they really, really do work, I have to say. Now, what else have we got going on here? The Doors. Yeah, I should take a look at the Doors sometime. It's Not Somebody. Saw REM. Hey, yeah, they were good. They are good. Losing My Religion. Cool, good song. So, we've got quite a few comments here. And John Gardner, I'd like to say hello to everybody who's taken the time. Which one's the Depeche Mode then? What's the Depeche Mode? Do you know, there is a Depeche Mode one. There was one of theirs I used to know, which clearly... Your own, personal Jesus, someone who knows you cares, someone who cares. A nice little song that it was. And Johnny Cash did it as well. Really nice track that. I'll have to take a look at that one for you guys. It's very, very straightforward from what I can gather. It's just in E. nice stuff, that kind of thing. Yeah, I don't do a lot of Bad Company. I've done a couple of theirs on my website if you're interested. Okay, so do you have to know scales to be able to play lead? No, you don't actually, but it does help. It's like anything. Why avoid anything, you know? Gareth, yeah, definitely the Johnny Cash is very, very nice stuff. Hey Joe, Tom, thanks for tuning in, Tom. I was getting worried about you. I wasn't sure if you're going to make it. Hey, it's very, very, very nice. It is indeed a very nice. I hurt myself today to see if I still hurt. The needle tears a hole. The only thing that's real. Lovely stuff, yeah. I've done a lesson on it. So, there's always something to learn, and I can always do with an extra view. So, yeah, please do check it out. Hurt is a nice, nice song. Met Johnny Cash. Wow, Leo, that's amazing. Spent several holidays in Ireland. My dad was a big fan. Hey, Leo, that's amazing. Some great suggestions coming through. I'm missing them, Dave, unfortunately. Still enjoy the JJ. You and me too, Murray. JJ is he's definitely one of my favourites, old JJ. I love JJ. Rain keeps falling on my head. Will keep shining in my eyes. Lord, the moon knows I'm blue, and it's all because of you. Ever since you said goodbye, sunny days have come and gone. Yeah, good old JJ. You can't beat a bit of JJ. But again, you see, if you like all that kind of stuff, the Ditto's your friend. If you like to solo, I mean, you see, if your chord knowledge is good you don't really always have to know scales. But like I say, you don't really want to be avoiding anything either, really, if you can help it. So we've got, Lucky Leo, exactly. Better than the 9-inch Wall version. Yeah, it's a very melancholic version, the 9-inch Nail version, isn't it? But credit to him for writing it. Anything by The Cure. Obi, I used to do It's Friday, I'm in Love, but I tell you what, I'd struggle now. It's another one. But this is what I wanted, you see. I wanted people coming on and saying, it'd be great if you could play a bit of this or a bit of that. So then next broadcast, when I come back, I can kind of fulfill a few of these little requests, It's kind of nice to be able to do that type of thing. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living life in peace. I think that's quite a nice song to learn, and of course the other one is nice one to strum this, you know, really is. Nice song, that one, yeah. So I've done a lot of Beatles stuff for anybody who's interested in all that kind of thing. Something in the way she moves attracts me like no other. It's done some fantastic songs. I'm guessing a lot of you. I do have a Facebook page, Candace, but I don't really use it. I don't know what to do with it. It's like I just did one because everybody said I should have one, and then nothing much has happened. So I don't really know why that is. I'm not very good at a lot of the social media stuff, to be honest. You know, so. Yeah, Jeff, you are right. You know, one of these days I'll take a look at some James Taylor for you. It's been years since I've played it, but he's certainly a fantastic player. Oh, absolutely, Murray. George Harrison was an absolute favourite of mine. He was an absolute favourite of mine for sure. Now, what was it Mally was saying? I forgot where he is now. Sometimes these messages are so small, you need a magnifying glass, honestly. Hey, thanks there. Who's that? Somebody there, Bristol Blue. Well, I'm really glad you found the channel and you've joined us. It's great to see you. Thanks for joining us, and Ian as well. Where are we? What was it that's yeah? So hopefully, guys, there's been a it'll be all over if I know how to find it and share it. Clapton, that is, yeah. Imagine, yeah. I've done a lesson on Imagine for you. Yeah, I've done quite a few John Lennon ones, you know. I've done Jealous Guy, I've done Imagine, I've done Nobody Knows You When You're Down and Out, quite a lot of that kind of stuff. So where's the little ditto in action? Let's see if we can do another little thing. So we've got our recording there now. So that means I made a bit of a mess of it at the end, but just for the sake of these purposes, it means you can practice all those solos you want to kind of do, you know? It's a great song to do it as well. Kind of great for all that kind of stuff, you know. So I think you've got the kind of impression, the idea at least, behind this kind of ditto thing. Because I get the feeling that many kind of, hey, from Berlin, we've got Berlin now as well. We've got Gerald from Berlin. We've got some new people joining us tonight, folks. So, you know, this little kind of show is growing in its own little way, which is a wonderful thing because, you know, I'd love to be able to help people out with their guitar stuff and things. Don't think I've done a whole lot to help you out tonight, but I just wanted to kind of, you know, kind of get a few things across about this Ditto, and I like to kind of touch on quite a few little different things, you know, so hopefully it kind of helps you and point you, like I say, because not everybody's always sure about kind of what lessons I have done and things like that. And I was counting them up the other day, and there was something crazy like over 300. So, you know, yeah, I do play some electric guitar as well, John. I played in lots of bands and things like that. And, you know, get... Yeah, I've done one. You need to check it out. It's funnily enough, it's this video which is my most viewed video. I think it's getting on for like 500,000 views. It beats me because, yeah, okay, it's a kind of nice song and everything else, but compared to some of the blues stuff, I much prefer that kind of thing myself. But it's still, nevertheless, it's a lovely song, you know. Is it getting better? Or do you feel the same? Has it made it easier on you? See, the nice thing again, let me just erase this Ditto. The nice thing about this Ditto is you can kind of do something like, say, and then you can kind of, you know, you can kind of just record little bits which will kind of work with you. But as I say, one of the things about it is, and that illustrated there, is very much the timing. And it's great, you see, because in a sense, that's what I find a lot of people from online need a little bit of extra help with their timing generally. Because like learning has become a very visual thing, sometimes the kind of timing of things gets overlooked. So I want to spend my last little bit of time here with you guys, just trying to encourage you and keep you encouraged and keep you going with what you're doing. Because just remember, each and every time you pick it up, I know I say this every week, but it's very, very true, okay? That each and every time you pick it up, you're getting better. Even though, you know, you have those times when you think, oh, I'm really not getting a whole lot better. You really are getting better. So never give up with what you're doing, because it's a wonderful thing to have with you through your life, whatever stage of your life that you're at. It's, you know, I can't really overemphasize what it's meant to me over the years, you know. If I start saying it's a friend, then people might start looking at me sideways. But the fact of the matter is that it's been with me through thick and thin. And so I want to make sure that you keep doing this if this is what you do. And, you know, all these things which seem kind of impossible and you feel like you're never going to get your head around, you will. Just pick up the guitar and play something. There's so much information out there now, guys, that there's not really any excuse, you know. And another thing is that if you're ever able to play around your children or your grandchildren or things like that, always take that opportunity to do it. Now, I know many people when they're starting out lock themselves away where they can't be heard and everything, and maybe that's a good thing, you know, when we're kind of really getting started, because it's not the greatest thing for people to listen to. But once we can play a few little things, it's very, very, very important, okay, for you to share that with the family and things. Because one of the things I wanted to touch on was that I think one of the biggest influences for me when I was growing up as a child was my family influences. My dad played guitar and he sang and he played harmonica. My grandfather played the fiddle, and my other grandfather played the keyboard. And, you know, there was a lot of musical influences around me. And so if you can ever give that gift to somebody else, children are very susceptible to these things. And so if you play around them, there could be every chance that they could turn out to be the next Robert Johnson, or Mark Knopfler or Eric Clapton, or whoever it is that you like. So really, if you take that, and it's good for you as well to play around people and share your gift with people, however you think you are and everything. Even if you're not thinking you're great, just try and share it. And I'm sure you're all going to get really, really good at what you do in time, because, I get the impression that a lot of you are very dedicated to what you do and everything. So let me read some of your messages and everything else. That's my little rant, not so much rant out the way, but I just want to encourage you. No, that joke is just okay. Have you ever slowed down? Where are we now? Hack, yeah. So we got Jimmy. Jim is in the house. Hey, that's good. Do you play electric? Yeah, well, that's where I was up to. That's kind of where I was up to. I am from Liverpool, Minnow, yeah, but I don't live in Liverpool anymore. I live on the Isle of Wight, which is a little island just off the south coast. I learnt your video of one. Hey, Gareth, that's brilliant. Julie, okay, we got Julie then. We got Leo. Sorry to boast, but also met. Oh, now, Leo, pack it in. And then we've got Eric Clapton, fans of Eric Clapton, yeah. Playing it in a band will sort out your timing. Yeah, that's another great way, absolutely. Okay, so we've got, has your guitar got an under saddle piezo? Yes, it has, Gary. I can't see a preamp. No, I've just got my little kind of under the saddle one. It's a very old school. It's been in it for 20 years or so now. I just like this guitar the way it is. I don't really want to do a whole lot to this guitar. You two for deciding that everyone on Apple needed their album. Yeah, I'm with you there, Lead Belly. For sure. GT, find yourself playing solos in only a few keys or in a few boxes. Yeah, it can be a trap, that GT. It's very, very important, So just to kind of finish off right, let me just do this. So as GT is saying there, we can always kind of got to be careful not when we're soloing not to just kind of play in the one key, all right? So, there's a lot of this playing in E. So let's kind of, if you're playing in G, it's very important to use all the keys. So that'll be your G. G. As GT's pointed out, now we do it in A. Okay, so yeah, good point, GT. We must try and just, and if you just know, like, say, a few pentatonics and things, then just play your kind of scales over your little rhythms. But you see, the reason that I've spent the time on this ditto thing tonight is because I imagine a lot of you play on your own. So this is like having another guitarist in the room. Especially if what you're trying to do is solo. I've said that a number of times, so hopefully, guys, it might be of use to a few of you. Okay, so what's a good song for beginners? A good song for beginners? Well, if you take a look at my blues guitar for complete beginners, I start showing you how to do really basic things like... You can play like hundreds of songs like that, like blues songs, or you can just play very, very kind of simple songs. Say like Knocking on Heaven's Door. Now, take this badge off of me. So there's loads of like 3-chord songs you're looking for beginners, you know, and I've done a lot of that kind of stuff. So, you know, loads of songs for beginners. Just have a look through my YouTube channel and you'll see all that stuff there. Okay, so what else we got going on here? Mississippi. I haven't really touched on much blues tonight, guys, have I? I'm really sorry about that. I usually... little blues compilation before I go. You were saying about the old Mississippi, John Hare, Palmer. If you're still there, Palmer. Great choice. Get that fedora on. That kind of style of guitar playing is very, very pleasing, I have to say. You know, and there's loads of that kind of stuff you can do, and loads of lessons that I've covered in different keys and things, you know. So, yeah, it's very, very worthwhile taking a look at. When did you leave heaven? How did they let you go? How's everything up in heaven? I would love to know. Why did you trade heaven for all these other things? Did you leave your little hello? Where did you hide your wings? I love all that Big Bill Broonzy stuff, as you know. I could play it all night. Okay, and another thing, which is what we're touching on in these blues tips, is being able to play all your kind of chords all over the place, yeah? So you kind of A here, yeah? You got an A here, an A here, an A here, an A here. You know, all these kind of A here. So, and then somebody was asking me before, do you need to know scales to play lead? Well, on that basis you don't, because you can kind of... They're all coming from the chord shapes. That's an A7. Again, from the kind of A shape, you know. So there's a lot contained. Obviously, you know, all those notes that are used for the chords can be used for your solos as well. So guys, I've kind of come to the end of the show. I feel like, I don't know why. Let me just put this down for a minute, because it's a little bit awkward, and I want to say good farewell to everybody, but I'm feeling like I've left you a little bit short tonight. I in some way haven't done what I usually do, but I'm sure I probably have. It's just that I've just been racing around all day long today. I don't seem to have stopped, and it's very, very late. So let's have a look now. My wife just walked in. Is that the Joe person? Well, you can tell her, David, that it is the Joe person. And by the way, David, is you the David from Bridport, by the way, Dave? I can't remember whether you are or not, but I wanted to thank you personally for all that information you sent me about the festivals and things over in Bridport, if it is indeed you, which it may not be. Preston, are you still with us? Ken, by any chance, you still with us? Palmer? Candace? Oh, God bless Candace. I hope you have a great time over the weekend. If it is, yeah, I hope, yes, it is, David. Yeah. Well, thanks again for all that info, and I am going to follow up on that, David. I'm glad. I hope you're finding things all right over at Patreon as well, by the way, all you guys who may have joined up and stuff like that. If you ever have any problems, get on to me, and I'll always want to kind of help you out there. These are fantastic live videos. Well, Leo, that's really, really kind of you. Thank you so much. I'm glad to see that you're here, Palmer. We need to touch bases again sometime. Got a few things I want to ask you about the blues pilgrimage. We need to I need to keep that going. Hey, Eddie, I'm glad that you could make it as well. Really glad. I hope that the old back, if ever remembering rightly, I'm not entirely sure whether I have remembered it. I know there's one Eddie there with a bad back, and I kind of okay, Minova there as well. Thanks for the music. It's Peace Message. Thank you as well, Limol or Limewood. Preston, yeah, great that you're there, Preston. We'll have to touch bases again, Preston. I haven't spoken in a while. We'll have to kind of figure out some tunes again that you enjoy listening to. Bye bye, Johan, and cheers, John Smith, as well. Bye to you, Jeff. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Jeff. As I say, watch out for those new release video today. You've probably watched that already, Jeff, but I think that's going to be a helpful series for you. Candace, thank you. It's very flattering to think that I would inspire anybody, but the thought of doing that is just really, really wonderful. I would love to know that I'm helping people out there and things like that. I feel like night out with live music. Yeah, maybe we can go together, Ken, and have a play. That would be good. It's in some little bar and get the guitars out and have a little bit of a play. That would be really, really good, Kent. And I hope everything's going all right with you, Kent, and you had a great Christmas and a New Year. I wanted to make sure I mentioned that to you. Joe, I'm so glad you could make it, Joseph Spring. We've been catching up and stuff like that. Good for the blues. Yeah. I know you like your blues, Preston, and I'm going to be coming back with much more of that in the future. I've got a lot of that kind of stuff lined up for you over at Patreon as well. Going to be taking a look at Honey Babe. That's going to be a 2-part tutorial, and I'm going to talk quite a lot about how to solo. If anybody's interested in that type of thing, check out my Patreon page. A lot of you already do. You all right, Joe? Thanks for your thoughts. Very kind of you. The back getting strong. I'm really pleased to hear that, Eddie. And Stuart, we've got Stuart there. Thanks, Joe. You next week. Great show. Well, what I should say, guys, and I meant to say a little bit earlier on, is I'll be coming to you in a fortnight's time, okay? Got quite a busy schedule coming up recently over the next kind of little spell of time. So it's going to be a fortnight before I'm back with you. So I would like all of you to message me as much as you can on these videos once they're uploaded about the kind of things that you want me to talk about, the things you might like me to play, the things you'd like me to look at. Try and be as specific as you can. And then hopefully I'll be able to help you when I come back in a fortnight's time. Please leave those messages once this video is uploaded, because what happens is if you make a comment here now, it disappears when the video uploads. So you need to come back and see the Joe Show in my videos, and then if you can make a comment, you'd be really making my day, because then I can help you kind of learn the stuff you're looking to learn, okay? So where are we now? Another great show. Well, Gary, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I hope things are going all right on your Facebook page. If I'm not mistaken, Gary, you're starting something up over there. So if Gary wants to put a link here anytime, he's got a Facebook page with, I think, with some guitar stuff there. Soon the usual suspects, Giles. Yeah, I'll have to twist Al's arm into joining me again for another show. Dave Tarrant, you are very, very welcome. I really appreciate you all taking time out to join me for this show tonight, and every show that you've joined me for, guys. It really is a pleasure to spend it with you all. And I hope that you have just a wonderful weekend, you know, whether that's on your own, with your family, whoever you were with, and just look after yourselves. And I can't wait to see you all in a fortnight's time, guys. Thanks ever so much for joining me. Don't forget, I've got a YouTube channel, obviously, where there's lots and lots of content for all different levels, from beginner to advanced. I also have a website where you can go and look stuff over there. That's kind of quite nice, and there's links in a lot of the descriptions to my videos. And I finally also have a Patreon page for anybody who's wishing to kind of help me carry on with the type of things that I do, creating lessons for people and things like that. So don't hesitate to check those out if you haven't already, guys. And you all take care, okay? Mali, I'm glad that you joined us as well. And everybody who joined us here tonight, I'd just like to thank you once again. Hey, thanks, Palmer. We'll be catching up soon. I hope to catch up with you all very, very soon. You're all very, very welcome to email me anytime you like. All my details are on the YouTube or the Patreon or the website. It's easy enough to get in touch with me, guys. It's always wonderful to hear from you. And thank you very much indeed. All you look after yourselves now and take care. Be safe. All right.